Back in 1993, my dad was given that coffee maker from a restaurant that was going out of business, and he wanted to keep it in case I ever had a shop or a garage of my own. 29 years later, we pulled it out of storage to use for my wedding, and now it's sitting here in my garage just in case somebody wants to come over and help me drink like 182 coffees. Pretty cool. What is going on, people of YouTube? As you can see, things are a little bit different around here. I don't normally talk to you guys directly, but I really want to grow this channel, and I think a good way of doing that is connecting with the audience. So I'm going to do this every once in a while. Anyways, I'm Tim, and I run CanadianGearhead.com, which is an online blog about cars and trucks, mostly Toyotas. And we got over 200 articles about detailing, maintenance, buyer's guides, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, feel free to go check it out. But that's enough about me. There's been a lot of people asking about this car chilling in the background lately. So let's go ahead and get started with the tour, starting with that one. Okay, this is my 1991 Toyota MR2 Turbo. This is an original Canadian car. It's got about 136,000 kilometers on it now, so fairly low mileage. And this is actually my second car that I've ever owned. My first car was a Corolla SR5 that ended up in the junkyard. So I bought this thing when I was 19 years old, and I was working at the Toyota factory at the time. I was making lots of money. I had no real responsibilities, and so I bought this thing. And at the time, I was debating between getting either MR2 like this and spending a lot of money on modifications, or buying a Mark IV Supra and just kind of leaving it stock. Now, I don't know if you've seen the market for the Mark IV Toyota Supras lately, but I'm kind of kicking myself every once in a while for not getting one of those. But I gotta say that this car has given me a lot of memories, and it's opened up a lot of friendships that I don't think I would have had if I hadn't been immersed in the world of modifying cars, so I can't say I've got any regrets. Now, what purpose does this car serve? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. This is not exactly a family car or a grocery getter. This is a very fun car. It makes about 400 horsepower to the wheels, and this is strictly just for when I feel like being a boosty boy. But being so highly modified like this, it's not exactly practical. I used to rip around the streets in it back in the day, and it was well known for, taking on a 600cc sport bike from time to time. But now that I'm an old geezer, I pretty much just take it to Cars and Coffee, or I could go out for ice cream with my wife. But it's still a really enjoyable car, and it's a lot of fun to own and drive and just play around with. As far as future plans go, well, this one's not going anywhere. Sorry to all the people that reach out to me offering to buy it, but it'll never be for sale. Now, believe it or not, this car could actually use a pretty good detail. I mean, things always look good on camera, but I'm not sure if I'm going to end up filming that or not. I might just kind of do it for myself, but if you guys are interested, I'll make sure to make a little series or something on doing this more intense kind of detailing. I want to polish and coat the wheels. I want to do like some deep detailing in like the door jambs and stuff like that, the engine bay, I don't have huge plans for modifying it anymore. It's kind of more maintaining it the way that it is and enjoying it, but I am open to making some changes here or there, adding some stuff. Like the head unit is a really old Kenwood unit, so it doesn't even have Bluetooth or anything, I don't think. I can't connect my phone to it, so I might upgrade something like that. Who knows, if some of the MR2 parts vendors reach out to me and want to collaborate on something, I might do other things too, like maybe I'll put some newer suspension on it or some brakes or something like that. But overall, I'm really happy with the car the way it is. And it's kind of a time capsule. It's kind of like a blast from the past every time I get in and go for a drive. This car isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I used to always say that they're going to end up burying me in this thing because I'll never sell it. But now that I got a little guy, I guess that, when my time's up, he can take care of it for me. So I guess it'll be getting passed on to him someday. Okay, moving on to the 4Runner now, and I'm fairly certain that most of you guys are familiar with this one. This is on the channel quite a bit. This is my 2007 Toyota 4Runner. It's a limited model, and it's also a V8 model. And it has about 250,000 kilometers on it. I would consider this like a mild build. This is a daily driver for sure. It's not like some crazy expedition rig or anything. But this is the original shadow gray paint. I've polished it, ceramic coated it. Got a set of Method race wheels. We got Fox 2.0 suspension on it. Doug Thorley headers, Gibson exhaust, a bunch of other stuff. I'll get into more of the details on like a full walk around video in the future. But because it's a limited model, this did come with a leather interior. These 4th gen 4Runners didn't really have a whole lot of features, a whole lot of options available even on the limited trim. They were pretty simple compared to the modern 4Runners. But this one essentially has everything you can get at the time. I didn't have factory nav, but I added a Pioneer head unit. Now, as far as why I own this thing, I owned a V8 Jeep Grand Cherokee for 10 years. And I always said, if I was ever going to get rid of it for any reason, it would only be for one of them V8 4Runners. And here we are. The Jeep was getting a little bit up there in age, and it was still in really good condition. It was still worth something, so I wanted to get rid of it while I could still get some money for it. And I ended up stumbling across this V8 4Runner. So I ended up modifying this bad boy pretty much right off the bat, partly because I just wanted to, and partly because it did have some issues when I bought it. It had a leaking exhaust manifold, and the air suspension was kind of messed up, and in order to get it running properly anyways, I had to make some changes, so I just went straight ahead with the lift and the tires and the headers and stuff like that. Then I started a website, made a 5-minute video about it on my way to the beach, and the rest is history. So what purpose does it serve? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. This is our daily driver / adventure rig. It's pretty much our go-to for everything. This is my favorite vehicle to drive out of all of them as far as stress-free driving. Now, almost equally as important, this is the star of the show here on Canadian Gearhead. I stumble on the fact that these 4th gen 4Runners are underserved on the internet, so I make lots of content about these on both the website and on here on YouTube, so that was kind of a happy accident, and it really kicked off the whole business. As far as future plans go, is it staying or is it going? Well, before you guys freak out, don't worry, the 4Runner isn't going anywhere. I got lots of future content planned for this thing. Honestly, I think I'd like to continue building it as an adventure vehicle and maybe do a rack up top, like an aftermarket rack. I already have a light bar mounted on the factory rack up there, but it'd be cool to do an aftermarket rack, maybe a rooftop tent for camping and stuff. Maybe some armor. I don't think I'd do big bumpers, but some skid plates would be cool. I'd definitely have to organize the hatch a little bit better for camping, like with a drawer system and stuff. I do have, as you can see, I've got no organization back here at all, but I do have these LED lights that I put in here for camping and stuff, and they come in super handy when you're out in the middle of nowhere at nighttime and trying to set things up, or you're trying to hook up a trailer or something. So those are pretty cool. So yeah, this thing is going to be sticking around with us for a while longer for sure. I'm still really happy with it. And we still got more to do with it, I think. So again, this one too, I'm going to be making a full walk around video again, like updating everything that's done to it. And keep an eye out for that video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're watching all this stuff, because I'm not just making it for no reason. Okay, on to the Harley-Davidson now. And this is a 2002 Harley-Davidson Night Train. This is a Softail, from the Softail family. And this white wide glide here, this one belongs to my dad. If you've seen this one in the background lately, this is just hibernating with me for the wintertime. I got room for it in the garage here, so I told him to bring it here. Yeah, so it's a 2002 model. They didn't make a whole lot of night trains for a whole lot of years. I think it was from maybe 2000 to 2009, I think, or something like that. But this was like the original blacked out bike, and it's not like completely blacked out, not like the modern bikes today. It still has chrome wheels, chrome pipes and stuff like that, and chrome accents here and there. But at the time, this was like the blacked out bike from Harley-Davidson, and you know how popular those are now. So I think maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think the Night Train kind of paved the way a little bit for the modern style bikes. I basically bought it sight unseen from an eBay auction. and ended up having to go down to Sedalia, Missouri to bring it up to Canada. So I had to import it myself and drive it across the border. I almost got shot by a border agent by accident. Maybe I'll save that story for a future motovlog video if I ever go back to making those. So in terms of the purpose of this bike, well, it's basically just for me. I mean, I've tried making motorcycle content in the past, a little bit on here, did some motovlogs and stuff like that, and it never really performed. It seems like my audience prefers the Toyota stuff. So this is just for me. This is like my, this bike is like my own personal therapist. Whenever I get stressed out or annoyed or whatever it is that's going on in my life, I take this thing out on the open road and just unwind, and it works every time. I've always loved cars, but honestly, I wasn't much of a motorcycle guy before I bought this thing. But I gotta tell you, there's just something different about being on two wheels. I don't know, the feeling of being out in the wind and stuff, it's different. And for me, it's very, very therapeutic, very relaxing. And it's a bit of a thrill too. In terms of future plans, is it staying or going? Well, this is a fairly cheap bike now. And my insurance has finally come down to a decent amount. Now that I've been riding for a few years, I've got a few years of experience. I finally got some better rates. So it really doesn't cost me that much to keep this thing. And it takes so little space in the garage here that I find as long as it makes me as happy as it does, then it's gonna be sticking around. Okay, last but not least, we have the Tacoma here, or maybe least, depending on how you're looking at it. This is a 2006 model, and I believe it started life as an SR5. If you're a Tacoma fanatic, you'll recognize that the SR5 should have a sliding rear window, and this one doesn't, but I happen to know for a fact this truck originally did have it, and it got smashed out, so this is what they were able to find, this is what they put in, but it didn't come with the solid window. It's got about 335,000 kilometers on it now, and it had the frame recall done a few years ago, so it's got a brand new frame on it. And honestly, that's one of the main reasons why I've held on to it as long as I have, and I've put the work into it that I have. This one has the 4-liter V6 engine, and don't get me wrong, it's a great engine. There's a reason why Toyota used this motor in all of their trucks for so long, and still do. I mean, $70,000 for a brand new 4Runner, and it's got this engine in it, which is insane to me. But to be honest though, like driving it back to back with the V8 4Runner, it's hard to love this little V6. It's a good engine, it's a reliable engine, but in comparison, it just feels a little bit gutless. So why do I own this thing? Well, it belonged to my wife when I met her, so I guess I kind of inherited it. And I've been trying to fix it up ever since then, because the fact that A, it's a Toyota truck, and it's fairly rust-free, and it has a new frame on it, even if it's been neglected, this truck is still worth something, so I felt like it's really worth saving. I gotta say though, even though it looks pretty decent on camera, in my opinion, it's a little bit banged up still. It's a lot better than when I got it, but it's still a little rough around the edges. It's got some bumps and bruises and plenty of things that I still need to fix on it. So what purpose does the Tacoma here serve? Well, now that my wife is home with the baby, it really doesn't get driven very much. The baby seat doesn't fit in the rear of this cab, so it really only gets driven for solo trips, I guess. And it just sits a lot. Now, the thing is, I love having a pickup truck in the family. And it comes in super handy whenever we need it. Like if we just got a new snowblower or we got a load of like building supplies for a project or something like that. It is so awesome having a pickup truck. I don't think I can go without one now after owning this thing. But for the most part, it really just sits here. So the official main purpose of this Tacoma still on the Canadian Gearhead channel is really just for content. So it's just a matter of continuing to fix things up on it to help other Tacoma owners figure out how to solve problems that might be common on these trucks. So future plans, is it staying or leaving? Well, I guess you can probably guess where I'm going with this. This one might be leaving. And don't get me wrong, the Tacoma is a great truck. I think these Tacomas are awesome, but the honest truth is that I never wanted a Tacoma. If I'm gonna get a truck, I want a full-size truck, I want a V8 engine that I can tow a bunch with and have lots of space and stuff to stretch out. And I've always wanted a second-gen Tundra. That's been going on for a really long time, even before I bought the 4Runner, especially with the Crew Max cab. And I feel like that would be a much better fit for our family, to have lots of interior space and still have a decent sized truck bed. And also, when you consider the fact that we can probably sell it for double what she paid for it 10 years ago, based on the current market on these things, which is ridiculous, by the way, it seems like the timing is right to make the switch soon. And I'm going to continue fixing things up on this for content, but once that's done, I think we're going to be parting ways. All right, just wrapping up. Let's talk about the garage itself a little bit here. This is technically an oversized 2-car garage. So as you can see, we've got the MR2 over there, it's somewhat tight to the wall. And then we have the Harleys over here with essentially enough room to put another vehicle in between. So this is much bigger than like a traditional 2-car garage. I'll show you. The car's really not that tight to the wall here. So I believe it's roughly 500 square feet or so. This is a cinder block building, so it's kind of old school. And we've got like a decent condition cement pad. And then also we've got spray foam insulation up top, which is awesome. This is really a well sealed up building. I noticed in the summertime, well, late summertime was when we got the place, but it stayed cool in here when it was hot outside. So that gives you an idea of how insulated the ceiling is here. Now, one of my favorite parts about this garage is this bad boy right here. This is a infrared tube heater, and it's from Reverberate, I guess. And this was installed by the previous owner, and I'm glad I didn't have to pay for it because these things are expensive, man. But I've kept it about 15 degrees Celsius in here all winter long, and it's super comfy out here. Like, I'm in a t-shirt right now, and it's below freezing outside. It adds a little bit to the gas bill, but surprisingly not that much. So this is still a little bit more cluttered than I would like it to be, but I'll be getting a shed in the springtime, so a lot of this crap is all yard stuff. So I'll give you a quick little tour of how I have things set up here. I put this metal shelving unit, it was actually in the basement originally. I brought it out here just to hold, this is more of the mechanical stuff, fluids, stuff like that. I got my small little toolbox here. Definitely could use something bigger, but it's organized. You know, it's got what I need. It's definitely the basics, just the bare minimum to be able to work on cars. But so far I'm getting the job done. I mean, can't really complain too much. I have most of what I need. This cupboard is kind of miscellaneous stuff. On this side, this is more detailing, paint correction stuff. Got my laundry basket for car towels down there. When it fills up, then I go into the house and I do laundry. But we got polishing pads for paint correction. I got my buffers down there. And then this one here is just kind of overflow. I've got like my gallon jugs of stuff that I fill up with and other things that just don't fit. I've got new towels that I haven't put into the circulation yet. This is like a kitchen granite countertop, which is, I guess, nice, but not really meant for a garage. And then this is my detailing cabinet over here. So as you can see, it's pretty filled up, man. I got most of my wash stuff here. Again, that's kind of overflow stuff up top. Got my washing stuff, interior stuff, and then all these towels and wash mitts. Those are all like my wash towels for rinseless washes. And up top here, we've got waxes, sealants, ceramic coatings. This is more paint correction stuff. This is all my compounds and polishes. And this is just like a whole collection of stuff that Canadian Tire gave me to test out from their Simonized Platinum line. Drying towels, glass towels, paint correction towels. This is all detail firm stuff from TOC Supplies. And I'm a big fan of that product line, by the way. I have to say, it's quickly become one of my favorites. But if you want to know more about like my current favorite detailing products and stuff, I actually have a separate page on my website all about my recommended products. So you can go ahead and check that out. I'll put the link in the description for you. And it explains kind of what my favorites are, why I use them, how I use them, and of course links to go and find them. Up top here, shout out to my boy Boosted Celica. That's a handmade license plate Canadian Gearhead sign. And I've got my motorcycle helmet beside it and my old mountain bike racing helmet. Again, more clutter over here that I got to get rid of. This is all stuff that I should have space for, but I don't really right now. So we got motorcycle stand, mountain bike stand, tripods, sliders, camera gear, stuff like that, my bike rack. I got to get that up off the floor. I need to get that stored somewhere. I definitely need to improve my storage situation in this garage for sure. This, I think I've mentioned it before in my other videos. This is my old downhill race bike from back when I used to race downhill when I was a teenager. And I was sponsored by this company, and I still have this bike. And these are kind of sought after now. My brother-in-law was telling me that there's a lot of people that are looking for these on the used market. Now that you just can't buy bikes like this anymore. Like, this thing has a tank. So my plan is to put it up under the ceiling. And kind of like some of the restaurants that you see with Harley-Davidsons up there, I'm going to have my old race bike mounted up there because I don't ride it anymore. And I think it'll be kind of a unique fit for the garage here. We've got a ceiling fan up there as well, which definitely really helps with circulation. Over on this side, we've got like my pressure washer stuff, my hose, my wand, foam cannon, this guy. Over here, I'm still using this Wi-Fi signal booster, and it's working out here pretty good. It definitely gives a signal in the entire garage here, but sometimes it's not super fast, and I think that's kind of just the nature of the beast, but overall I'm still pleased with it. It's working well. Now, as far as future plans for the garage here, as much as I love like really clean modern garages, I'm just not so sure that it would suit this one because like the usual black and white, clean and shiny look just doesn't really match this house. This house was built in 1949, so it's got a lot of character in it when it comes to like woodworking and the old brick and stuff. So I just don't think that a modern garage reno would really suit this property. If anything, I might end up doing like an accent wall on this back wall. Maybe I'll do like some red brick or something like that to kind of tie it in with the house and give it more of like a kind of a rustic warehouse feel out here, which I think is kind of unique and it's a little bit more my style. I think up top, I wouldn't mind just spray painting all that. I might paint it all white just to brighten it up a little bit, just to make it a little bit more matchy-matchy. Now, I would love more storage space for tools and equipment. It would be great to have some cabinets that are actually meant for a garage that'll take up a little bit less space and be a little more convenient for storing garage kind of stuff. I'd love to get a better air compressor. I just have this little guy here right now. Does the job, but not super ideal for automotive stuff. I'd like to get some more lighting too. So up here, we've got these cool pot lights, which I really like. But they're only on this side of the ceiling, and on the other side of this beam, I don't really have much. We've got some LED strips up here, but they're not doing a whole lot in terms of bringing light down here, so I'd like to extend some light onto this side of the garage. I do plan on running water out here. We've obviously got a natural gas line coming in for the heater, and so I'd like to just follow the path that takes and bring water in here, and then do some kind of like a hard mount of my pressure washer setup. Obviously I'm a car guy, so a hoist would be pretty cool. But in that case, I would have to get rid of this beam up here. And the previous owner told me that it's not a load-bearing beam. It's just sitting on top of the blocks up there. But I still don't really want to get rid of it just because I kind of like the character that it adds. It's definitely an old piece of wood. It's got a lot of style in it, I think. I also don't want to have posts like in the center of the floor here that I have to worry about driving around. I like the idea of being able to like park diagonally in here like I just did, showing you guys the vehicles and stuff and having the room to move around. I'm not doing that much mechanical work, so I don't need to have like a 2-post hoist or anything out here. So it would have to be a scissor lift of some sort. I would love to do like a full garage project with like fresh new equipment and new everything and just spend a whole bunch of money on this place. But because we just bought this house and we just had a baby, I can't really imagine I'm gonna be able to justify spending a whole bunch of money out here just yet. At least not for the time being. But let me know your thoughts on the garage, and if you'd like to see more garage related content of the stuff that I'm doing to kind of improve this space for doing what I do, then make sure you comment down below. Let me know that you do want to see that kind of stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, you and I both know I don't ask you for much. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, so that'll go ahead and tell the algorithm to send this video out to other people, I would really appreciate that. And again, I'll be doing separate videos on each of the vehicles, like a full walk around of all the details you want to know about them, all the different modifications and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. For now, I'm going to go ahead and put another video on here somewhere. But anyways, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya. Oh, the coffee's cold. Oh, that's really bad.